Hey y'all, it's Leah. I am here with a Dephemerember video for this year. I am going to do one each Sunday to show kind of my makes for the week. So it'll be going over four different um, ideas that we are going to do each week, except for the last week, there's only going to be three. And so I'm super excited about this year's Dephemerember projects. It took me a minute to kind of figure out what I wanted to do for the compartmentalization piece of it. I was having a hard time kind of wrapping my brain around it because I've done mass makes in the past, but I tend to not use the things that I make because I kind of make things as I go when I'm working on a particular journal, or I sort of I get in a mindset of I'm gonna focus on whatever this theme is and kind of make things as I go. So in order to help myself, I made myself a list of future journals and ones that I'm doing right now. So I came up with, I think I have 12 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 journals that I have two that are in process right now. This is my wildflowers, and then my bag and envelope journals that I'm going. And then my mom and I are both kind of collecting things to do a sunflower and bee journal. Purple is my favorite color, so I've got a ton of stuff that I want to do a purple journal. I want to do another Christmas one, kind of a vintagey Christmas. I want to do a specific fall one. I've done some that are kind of with fall colors, but it hasn't been like traditional fall things necessarily. I'm going to add to my Dephemerember from last year to that journal. I've been doing, I don't know if you've ever seen, it's called the flower letters, and it's where you get sent these correspondence letters every 2 weeks for a year. And so I just finished that up. I got one on sale last year and did it, and it's World War II. It's a World War II story. And so I'm going to do a journal with all of those letters and kind of incorporating those things. And so it's going to be kind of, I want the Americana colors of that red and blue that are not the like bright red and blue of the US colors. And so I want to do that. I want to do a blue one. I have a bunch of stuff made for an Edith Holden journal that I want to kind of put together. I want to do a vintage one, a botanical one, a sewing one, and I'm from Louisiana, and so I want to do one that's all about like Louisiana, like some New Orleans specific things, but some that's just kind of for the state. So you will see lots of those themes incorporated into my makes that I'm going to show you for today. So this is our prompt list. If you have not seen or heard of Dephemerember, please run, don't walk, and go check out Dephemerember at 49 Dragonflies and at Louisa Heinzel. So hopefully you can see those. Definitely check them out. It is amazing. They come up with these great prompt lists each year. And so it just kind of gets you out of your rut and thinking in new ways. Okay. So first prompt for this year was a page tab and moth-eaten lace. And this one took me a minute to kind of wrap my head around. I did watch both Luisa and Barbara's videos to kind of see what they did. And these were my second attempts at this. My first ones I absolutely hated. I didn't like how the lace turned out. I didn't like anything about it. And so this, I kind of took Luisa's ideas of like spraying the lace with some distress spray and kind of going from there. And so I did that and then just added, this is a butterfly sticker on the top. So I made my little page tabs with my envelope maker. So I just punched the notches on there, just folded over some paper. And so we've got this one. And I did do the swap. If you've seen the Dephemerember thing, Luisa and Barbara each swapped 50 items. and they did snacks as well. My partner and I did not do snacks just for a variety of reasons. But my partner, Nikki, and I, this is our second year swapping. She's local to me. And so, well, we're an hour apart. So, we can get together. And so we were able to do that. So these little, kind of sequiny things were from her, and so I incorporated that into those. That's the only one that I actually dug into the box. I'm realizing now I need to get into that box and add some more things. So the cool thing with the compartmental making is that you don't necessarily have to finish off your pieces. So these are all finished. I probably wouldn't add much more to these. This one is using one of the giant Tim Holtz transparencies. And so I really like how this one came out, and it's got, really grunged up the lace and just kind of slashed it with my X-Acto knife and that kind of stuff. And so I really like how those two turned out. And then the next day I was like, okay, I'm finally knowing what I want to do. That's when I made my list, because at this point I didn't have my list done. So I was like, okay, they'll just go in my Dephemerember journal from last year. And then as I was talking to my mom about it, she was like, okay, I'm going to play too. And so we started thinking about, okay, it would be really nice to have these lists of future journals that we want to make. So this is one that I'm going to use in my envelope and bag journal that I'm doing as part of my design team project for Timeless Scraps. And so it's using some of her little pieces on there. And then this one is going to go into my design team project for Cheryl's Crafts that I'm doing with the Whispers of Wind Wildflowers, because I did fussy cut that little butterfly out of one of her papers, and then this is her paper as well. And so these, I didn't make fold over tabs. I figure I will just kind of stick them at the top of a page, or maybe at the top of a tag, or a pocket, or I'm not really sure where they're gonna go. So I just did them single-sided like that. Okay, and so this one I did with a lot more just kind of shimmery colors, but I still did kind of do some of the tearing on that. This one will go in a Santa journal. And so I tried to do some of like what Luisa did on hers with cutting the lace. I did not use glue on it, so it's not stiff. It's still pretty pliable. But I wanted to have that little Santa doing a little peekaboo from there. I thought that came out really cute. This will go in a sunflowers and bees journal. And then this one probably will as well, because I think the colors will work well with that. This is going to go in my purple. So this one, these two are definitely not finished. These three, this will go in the Americana journal. So these now, I'm like, okay, now I get the compartmental thing. Is like, you don't have to finish it all the way. You can just kind of have the basics done. So you're sort of doing that mass making of like doing the same process each time with, different pieces, but you're not taking it all the way to the final step all the time. And so I really like that idea. So that was day one. And then day two was the floating pocket and bold numbers. And I am so excited about how these turned out. So I had some ideas of what I was going to do, and my mom and I kind of talked about it a little bit. And when we resumed crafting this morning, she was like, okay, she watched somebody's video, and the person used these old vintage flashcards, and I have a stack of them, and I had sent my mom some. And so she's like, this is what she used, for the bold numbers, she used the flashcards. So it's like, oh, that's brilliant. And then my mom's like, but I want to take it a step further. And she goes, look what I did. And she showed me on Zoom that she had embossed the flashcard. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And so it just gives it just such a cool texture. And I've never thought about embossing. I don't know why. I've never thought about embossing flashcards. And so then when we inked it, we just used, I don't have one out anymore, but instead of using the round dome things, we just use the flat little discs on there because it just covers it just gets the embossed pieces. So, because when the dome tends to, when you're sort of pressing it a little bit more, and it tends to get into the the um the divots and stuff, and I really just wanted it to kind of go over and just pick up the raised pieces. So with that, we decided I was like, okay, I'm going to do some that are just going to be like clipped on as a pocket, and then some are going to be fold over pockets, because that was my original idea, is that I wanted pockets that were going to flip over a page that would either just hang there, or you just, secure with a little like bulldog clip or a paper clip or whatever. So this is what I came up with. I did this one for the Sunflowers and Bees journal, and this I just used some mesh on the front, and I'm really excited with how that turned out, that you can see the whole thing through it, the whole flashcard through it, and I really like that. And I'll probably, these are not done, I will still go in and embellish them in some way. Okay. This is going to go in a botanical journal, so I really love this wood grain embossing folder that I have. And then I just found this paper yesterday that I really liked. I think it's a new 49 in Market paper, if I'm not mistaken. And so I thought that was really cool. Okay. And then this will go in my Louisiana one. So I've got my fleur-de-lis, and I did that in purple, and then the green pocket, okay, to go kind of for a Mardi Gras theme. This will just be for like a little vintage one. This paper just really reminds me of that old flower sacking fabric that used to get, my husband's got a quilt that his grandma made for him out of that fabric. So it's just those real, real sweet little like flower patterns and different things, and they're just really cute. This is one of my fold over ones, and I was really impressed with myself when I came up with this idea. I was flipping through my box, looking through the things that I keep a lot of my theme stuff together in like a 12 by 12 box. And so I was going through my fall box, and I had these silk flowers that my mom had sent to me, and I was like, oh, that could work as a pocket. And so I just glued them on. And so, yeah, it definitely, I can put, a little something, tuck it in there. And so I did that on that side, and then that one on this side. And then this, I had played around with alcohol inks really for the first time. I was playing with them, and I had made that paper, and I really like that. So I just folded that over and glued each of the time cards to that. So this will just flip over a page like this, and then I'll probably just secure it with a little clip. Okay. And this is a Christmas one. This, the embossing folder had like a lip at the top, and I didn't realize it. So the top part didn't have anything on it. So I just took a piece of paper, piece of scrapbook paper, and then folded it over there. And so that will flip over, and then I'll embellish this side with some die cuts or something on there. This one is going to go for a sewing journal. So I just love this embossing folder that's kind of just the little stitched lines, and then I had this scrapbooking paper that was like mimicking pattern paper. And then I was like, what do I put on the top? And I was like, duh, put some lace or some fabric or something. So I did just the lace on that one. And then this one will go in that World War II Americana folder or journal, and I like this with the blue stars. And then I had this washi tape that's really pretty that I thought was perfect for that. Okay, so that's day 2. And then day 3, or really day 4, was the postcard and hand or machine sewing. So I am really just kind of getting into sewing in the last, I guess, year and a half or so. I've had my machine. My husband sews a ton, and my mom sews a ton, and she's a quilter and all of that. And I had never really learned how to sew. And then when I started doing junk journals, kept seeing people using the sewing machines. I was like, all right, I'm finally going to learn and break down and do it. So I've been playing around. I got a machine that it's got a few fancy stitches. So I tried this one. This didn't work out very well, but I'm like, okay, it just shows that I'm learning and I'm growing. It's the only way we grow is by practicing. But I thought that was fun. I wanted to have, some kind of little machine or the leaves on there to kind of go with that. And then this will go in that Americana. This was one of the things that I'm so excited that I figured out how to do with like switching stitches partway through. So I really like how that looks. And then this is an old postcard. This is from 1904. And so I thought that was really cool. So I just kind of did that one on there. And this is just a digital that I printed out for my purple journal. I really like that. And that will go in the sunflower and bees. And this was a Christmas postcard that I had gotten at a store not too long ago. And so I just did a zigzag around that. So that one, it doesn't show up as much, but you get the texture when you hold it. And so that's kind of cool. Okay. And then the last one was day 5. So Friday was the journaling card and tiny letters. So I just felt like I sort of phoned it in on this one because I wanted to get something done on Friday and I wasn't sure like how much stuff I wanted to pull out and all of that. And so I just printed out some digitals for a couple of different journals and then I pulled out my stamps. And so for this one, I just did this like little publishers and booksellers thing because I thought this kind of looked like maybe like a book page or like a book plate kind of thing. And then I spritzed it with some distress spray, and then I spritzed some water on top of it and let that sit for a few minutes. I watched somebody do that the other day. I was like, oh, I've never tried that before. And then take a tissue to it and then kind of blot it. And I love how it kind of gives that watermarked look on there. So that was really cool. And then this one, I just took an illegible text stamp and put that in the center and then spritzed that whole thing. And this one, I just did the notes there and sprayed that. And then this one, I just did perfection because I think that is like the perfect peony. It is a purple peony and I love purple and I love peonies. So I did that one and then I put authentic on this one and sprayed that. So those are my week 1 makes. I hope you are joining along for Dephemerember, or maybe I've convinced you to do so. Again, check it out, 49 Dragonflies or Luisa Heinzel. And or you can go, if you just search Dephemerember 2025, you will be brought to their page. It's Luisa's website that has like their landing page that has the printable version of this and some other fun little freebies and stuff on there, and then just kind of the history of it. You can get all of the years prior and that kind of stuff. So definitely check it out. Let me know in the comments if you are doing so, and thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Bye.